Hello everyone, my name is Evie Lupine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another video for you all. Today we are actually doing a whole week of asexuality related topics in honor of June being Pride Month. Now you may have seen the video that I did earlier this week where I talked about my experience as an asexual person, checking in about my identity, my feelings towards my sexual orientation, and also a little bit about my thoughts on kink and pride while also being ace. And in that video, if you have seen it, you will know that I talked about the differences for me between sexual attraction and romantic attraction, and those are the big two that most people will talk about when they are trying to describe the sorts of feelings they have towards other people. But did you know there are more types of attraction out there besides just sexual and romantic? And that is what I want to cover in today's video. And of course, while thinking about different types of attraction is helpful for ace people or aro people, even if you do experience sexual and romantic attraction, it can still be interesting to observe how you might think about different types of attraction beyond just those two things. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, what is attraction? It can be kind of hard to describe, but basically what it is it's a sensation that you get or a feeling that you have when your interest is piqued by another person. That could be because you find someone hot, or you love their outfit, or you want to be their friends. And these various types of attractions can be broken down into two broad categories: types of emotional attraction and physical attraction. So first, let's look at the various types of physical attraction. Number one would be sexual attraction, because of course we couldn't make a video talking about attraction without mentioning the one that pretty much everyone knows about. It's exactly like it sounds like. It's when you have an attraction towards somebody that is based on your desire to have sex with that person. Typically, this will mean sexual intercourse, but it could also be other types of sexual interactions and sexual intimacy. And this feeling of sexual attraction can come from a variety of factors. It might be certain physical attributes the person has. It could be their voice. It could be the way they move, or even how they make eye contact with you. Sexual attraction is experienced by allosexual people, that is, non-asexual people. And asexual people mostly define their identity based on the fact they don't experience sexual attraction. That could be the never ever under any circumstances of just standard asexual people. It could be the somewhat sometimes but not very often experience of gray A's, or the only when a strong bond has been formed of demisexuality. And if you do happen to experience sexual attraction, it can be difficult to discern this from sex drive or libido. So one more quick note here. Sexual attraction is about wanting to have sex with a particular person, whereas sex drive or libido is the concept of wanting to have sexual activity in general. So it's entirely possible to be somebody that experiences sexual attraction but then also has a low libido. And you can also be ace and have a high libido. It's just that your desire for sex isn't oriented towards a particular person. Now, moving on, number two would be sensual attraction. I would dare to say this is maybe the most widely misunderstood variety of attraction, because for a lot of people, sensual attraction goes so close together with romantic or sexual attraction that they aren't really that dissimilar from each other. But for some people, especially for ace people or aro people, you might have a distinct feeling of sensual attraction that is different from being sexually or romantically attracted to someone. If you're ace or aro, you might not have an attraction to somebody that feels sexual or romantic, and maybe sensual attraction makes more sense. And speaking of sense, which is the only purposeful pun I've ever used in any of my videos, make that known, is that sensual attraction is based on wanting to engage in the senses with somebody. Typically that means touch. And that can manifest through wanting to cuddle someone, wanting to kiss them in a non-sexual way, wanting to give them a massage or brush their hair. And I think this is interesting because when you look at it, I think this actually does a really good job of describing some of the experiences that happen when you do BDSM. You may not be romantically or sexually attracted to your play partners, but you do want them to give you a nice, gentle flogger massage, or you want them to drip hot wax or warm wax for that matter on your skin. So I think this does a pretty good job of explaining why we might want to top or bottom for people that we aren't really sexually or romantically attracted towards. It could be because what we're experiencing is sensual attraction. And finally, the last type of physical attraction would be aesthetic attraction. This is attraction to the way somebody looks or how they present themselves. You know, like when you really just vibe with somebody's style. This is typically based on a desire to simply observe somebody that you find aesthetically pleasing. If you have ever been entranced by somebody that you've seen at a party or across the street because of how awesome they look, but not necessarily because you really want to have sex with them or date them, this is aesthetic attraction. And if the separation between aesthetic and sexual attraction isn't quite making sense for you, I think we should look at the desired outcome that lies at the heart of each one of these different types of attractions. So for example, let's say you have a person that's in a latex dress and sky-high Louboutin heels. For some people, that is the apex of hotness, and they really want to have sex with somebody that dresses that way or happens to be wearing those items of fetish clothing. Whereas for other people, you might think that outfit is really cool and be in love with their style and not really want to act on that in any way outside of being able to see how cool and awesome their outfit looks. So hopefully that makes the delineation between sexual and aesthetic attraction a little bit more clear. Now, moving on, let's talk about different types of emotional attraction. The first one is romantic attraction, which is a little bit fuzzy and hard to define because what counts as romantic is very socially and culturally dependent and can totally overlap with other types of attraction. So for example, a desire to kiss somebody could come from a sensual place or a sexual place or a romantic place. So when we look at romantic attraction, what we have to do is observe the intent behind it. And this will manifest through things like wanting to have deep emotional intimacy with somebody, wanting to be physically close and affectionate without being sexual, about wanting to have a commitment with somebody, wanting to live with them or wanting to plan a life together. And if these feelings of romantic attraction don't really make sense to you or you're not really sure how they work, then you might be on the aromantic spectrum. Just like there are people that are asexual and don't experience sexual attraction, there are people that are aromantic or aro that don't experience romantic attraction. And it comes in all the same flavors as asexual does. There are gray romantics, there are demi-romantics, and many, many other labels to explore that might fit your particular identity. And finally, we have platonic attraction, and that is attraction where you desire to be somebody's friend. And typically this is for a deeper level of friendship. Some people do use it to describe a desire for casual friendships or wanting to just get to know somebody, but typically it is for those deeper friendships where you want to have a level of shared experiences and activities, hobbies, interests, and so on. And while it might not be as intense as the nerves you get when approaching somebody you might be sexually or romantically attracted towards, you can totally feel nervous and apprehensive when you are around somebody that you have a platonic crush on. And the term for a platonic crush is a squish. One subcategory to platonic attraction is queer platonic attraction. That means a desire to have a non-sexual but similarly intimate connection with somebody that is committed and typically bends the lines around what is considered the realm of being just friends and the sorts of things you would do with an exclusive romantic partner. Things that society generally deems to only be for people that have an ongoing romantic and sexual relationship. Things like sharing a house together, planning a life together, and having long-term intimacy and commitment. And I've talked about queer platonic relationships, or QPRs, in other videos before. So if you want to know more about exactly what that looks like and what that means, I will put a link to that video down below so you can check that out. But otherwise, I will simply leave this as a footnote to this video. And again, just to remind you all, you might experience all these types of attraction. You might experience none of them or some of them. They might be compressed into one big feeling. It all just depends on who you are as an individual person, and you certainly don't have to use these labels if you don't want to. For some people it makes sense, and for other people it doesn't. I just want to make sure that you guys know enough to be able to better describe the very weird experience of being human, and hopefully having an easier time defining, asking for, and finding the things you really want from your relationship. So again, that is everything for today, guys. If you enjoyed this, please do subscribe to my channel. I make videos twice a week about all sorts of kink, BDSM, sexuality, relationship-related topics. And finally, if you want to support what I do, the best way that you can do that is with Patreon. A link to that will be down below. YouTube recently demonetized my channel again for the second time. And it sucks and it's stressful. So if you want to make sure you can support me for the long term with having a place here on YouTube, Patreon has always been really wonderful and supportive, and that is what keeps me going and having this YouTube channel. And if you do already support me over there, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. And until I see you all next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.